Okay, we're here at Shoe Healer in Doncaster, and we've got a lovely pair of shoes here. Come in, guess what they are? What make are these? Can you tell? Now they look very trickerish, but they're not. These are Hoggs of Fife. Obviously, Hoggs don't make shoes. They've got somebody in Northampton, I would have thought Northampton, making these for them. If these were old shoes, in fact, I think they are quite old. I'm not sure if these weren't made by a company called Alfred Sargent. It looks like they're writing inside there. Let's have a look. Could be them. It could be that these were made by, anyway, one of the Northampton, not Hoggs. Hoggs of Fife don't make shoes, or don't make anything. They just rebrand stuff, get them made, and this is a relatively nice shoe. Had a lot of repairs, and it's coming for, is it new Commando, Paul, on these? Yeah. Right, new Commando, and look at this here. Look at all the stitching on here. If we just put my specs on, you see where they've missed with the outsole stitcher and taken a little bit much off there. And look at that stitching there. Look, now the strange thing is the chap said these have been repaired in Manchester, but it says Cheaney on there. Look, you see, and if you look here, you see the two lots of holes there. So we're wondering if this unit hasn't been taken off of another pair of shoes that maybe was having some sort of conversion, and then it's been reused. Well, you can't really do that properly. It's once a unit's been on, it'll get rid of it and put a new unit on. I know it sounds a bit wasteful, but very difficult to make a really nice job when you're reusing them. Look at these here. Look at all the stitching that's in there. Can you see that stitching that's all been waxed in by the customer that we've got to remove? There's loads and loads of stitching there. The wings have come loose, look, there and there. And the other thing on these is the back linings. The back linings have worn away, but they're smooth and they're lovely, and the chap has probably just got them bedded in. He'll keep going with them. Look in there, look, you can see the back linings have worn away, but we're not looking for work. We're not trying to overdo it. He's spending enough on them as it is, and that's all smooth. And if he's happy with that, just keep on going with them. Eventually, we can put a nice line around the back. The glue that soaks into the leather that's left, and the glue soaks into the liner that we put on, and it gives them a little bit more strength. And but if he's okay with them, that's absolutely fine. All the, like I say, all the wings here, where the leather's gone a little bit hard, and when the leather's flexing, instead of the leather flexing, goes a bit hard, so it starts to tug on the stitching, and then eventually the stitching just gives up. So we will do a strip down on these. It's generally a standard video, but it's just a lovely looking old pair of shoes, and you know, we'll just see how they come out. Just come around here. Look, come around here 2 seconds. On this shoe here, we've got a solid leather, solid rubber, should I say, solid rubber heel stack. We like to put the Commando Light on, which is the thin heel, so we can get the nice leather heel stack on. It does look so much nicer. So these here, we'll just peel these off. Look, this solid rubber. Look at that. For some reason, they never stitched around there. I don't know why. Let's have a quick look. No, they never bothered stitching that bit. Put some screws in. The screws were hardly catching, and they were only catching. No, that's the rubber heel stack, and the screws, they were only just catching. I mean, there was no need for those screws at all, really. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the head off of these stitches, and you know, you could get a knife in and whittle a knife round, but if that's been bonded, there's chance of catching the welt stitching. Look at that there. Look, it's It's coming apart there where the stitching's not quite caught. So let's 2 minutes on here. Really is a lovely unit, nice and supple. It's each side, it's the Joseph Cheaney unit. It's a lovely unit. Underneath, look, this is obviously this is not leather, this is like a cardboard. The sole unit's been put on with. So when this was put together, this part was missing. I would have thought, yeah, that's just cork, and the cork has stuck to the unit. So all this will come off. The welt stitching is a little bit loose on there, but once Paul's got a lovely, nice midsole bonded on, all this recorked. Look at that, that's that cardboard look. We'll take the screws out, get the rest of that board off, get rid of all the cork, recork them nicely. The shanks here, will that come out? No, it's got one of these screws as holding it. Yeah, lovely, lovely. And then all the stitches coming out. That's fun and games, but not for me, for Paul. Right, here we go. The shoe's all stripped down properly. Paul's stripped it all out. He's got all the cork out of here. Just come and have a look at all the holes in. Look at all the different holes in there. Look, you see, that will take some sorting out now. Stitching nicely. And on this side here, fudge wheel around here like this, just to close up and manipulate this leather a little bit. We'll come back and see what it looks like when Paul's stitched it. Look, obviously one track there, look, and then we've got all this mush here, and so Paul's going to just probably work that a little bit more. It helps to close up the holes, and then when he stitches it, it will hopefully look something like, you know, never be perfect. And at this stage, you wouldn't do a light coloured thread on there now, would you? No, you never get a nice stitch. Yeah. With the holes all over. The machine, Paul encourages the machine in his special way to find the old holes. But when there's holes all over, you can end up with that thread looking a little bit. So if you use a nice dark brown thread on top of that dark brown welt, if it's not quite 100%, it will look absolutely fine. This here, look, you can see where it's been over machined here. You know, repairers will take this, strip it down, and then grind it all round the machine. And they don't realise the damage that they're doing, exposing all this welt stitching, which thankfully is still in place, but they've taken the top of the rib off there as well. Look at that, you can see some staples here. Look at these staples, look. So these staples that are still in there, they're from the manufacturing process as the shoe is lasted. Those staples go in, hold everything together until the shoe is plate stitched. Most of the time, they're just left in. Sometimes they do take them out. So that's those triggers there. There's another pair of triggers here. Look at these here. And this, what's it called? This suede where it reveals the... oh, I can't remember what the name is for it. Anyway, it's... Eh? What weren't? Oh, weren't they? No, they weren't triggers. They were. That's right. But we're not going to redo this video. So I just make a mistake now and again. It's okay. It's okay. No, they look a little bit trickerish, but they're hogs. Right, okay. So these are triggers. And these are having this plum sole on here. Is it called plum, that, Paul? It is, isn't it? Lovely. So that's having that lovely sole on there. So what Paul's done is stripped it off. They've not been worn. I think they're brand new or very new. Not brand new because they've got some nails in the Commando sole. The Commando sole's being ripped off. That is so heavy. This is so light. Get that sole on there. again, it'll be so light. It'll be like having a pair of trainers on. And get all that trimmed off. That will look absolutely lovely. Right, okay, so we'll keep on with these, and we'll hopefully get them at the next stage and do a little video. Okay, right, so these shoes are done. These Hoggs of Fife, you saw them in the last video, all being stripped off and being restitched. Look, he's not done in the breast of the heel there, look. And you don't see it, and you could put a little bit of polish, but it's his trademark, he says, to not do that now, and traditionally we wouldn't do it, as I keep saying to everybody. That's it's just how it is. So he's stitched this on, he's put a new midsole in, he's cleaned all the welts, stitched back in there best he can, because there were holes all over that you saw. But have a look at that there, look, you see that's all stitched nicely back in there. Not perfect, but as good as it could get, because those welts look like Swiss cheese. The shoe sits there, balances really nice, and yeah, lovely job made of these Hoggs here. I did mention that the backs were a little bit worn. They're not bothering the customer, so he can just keep them like that. That'll be absolutely fine. Here's another pair just been brought in by a customer, and he's had these repaired at probably the largest repairers on the high street. And look at that there, look, you see where the stitching's come through the side there, look like that. They've not removed the stitching. It's not the worst repair that we've seen. Look at that welt there, look, you see there's just a little bit of dodginess going off the welt, and it's been filled with wax, and yeah, but not the worst repair we've seen. It's a solid repair, let's give them that, and it doesn't look too bad. You can bet that all these marks here on the welt where the stitching's come through the side, the guy slipped off and the hole has come through and pierced the side of the welt there. Anyway, it's not the worst repair. The Hoggs are all done, all sorted out, brought back to life. The welts, they'll take another couple of repairs, those welts, no problem at all. Probably by then the rest of the shoe will be done. I do love this colour on these Hoggs, they're beautiful. Really is a nice repair, nice pair of boots.